Hello, my friends. How you doing? Just a little disheveled here tonight, getting ready to get out of town. So excuse the delay, please. Again, in my temporary spot here until I get squared away, probably after my trip with all of the packing and unpacking. It's been pretty crazy, pretty crazy. Welcome, one and all, and let me get to the comments. And thank you for those of you, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you, Donig. And yeah, a lot of people celebrating. Hello, Greta Lou. Hello, Nita Bells. Hello, KKY, Marie. I am. Thank you very much. Smoky Eye, hello everyone in the Sned world. Hello, Sneds from Alabama, from Green Lizard, and Ugg Sneds. Yeah, not Sands. And Moonbeam, welcome everybody in. Hey to Quasi Pete, thanks for being here, you two. Yeah, a lot of shamrocks and a lot of good goodwill towards all. Yeah, please hit the thumbs up button as soon as you get in. Thank you, Morgan, for that. Let me see. Yeah, and please share out and tag an influencer that you think would benefit from this information that I am sharing out. I appreciate that. Horse Face, good to see you. Happy St. Patty's Day. Let's see. Let's see. Thumbs are up. Greta Lu, Gino, thank you very much. Catherine, thank you. Good evening. Happy 17th. Today is Q Day, my friends, the 17th. And as Polar Bear Paws mentioned earlier, green means go. Please, Q. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, please. Andrew, good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Let's see. I'd lay my life down for you. Yeah, I'd show you who's the boss. I'd forgive you and adore you while I was hanging on your cross if I was Jesus. I don't know that song, but sounds good. The Art of Silence. Yes, half truth. Thank you. Miss the dance music vibe. What is that dance music vibe? Or are you talking about the Art of Silence? Yo, Trump, we were all broke. Give us Nassar, Kevin. We're ready. We're ready. Or are we? I don't know. We got a lot of things to take care of. Jill Nicholas, aloha, long time no see. Happy to see you again. Thank you, Jill. Welcome back. Ravens Wings, good to see you, my friend. Hello, Jan. We had a meteor hit north. Excuse me, a meteor hit Northeast Ohio today. Holy cow! I gotta pull that up. Man, oh man, I was not unaware of that. Let's see. Meteor. But before we do, let's see. Okay, here we go. This is kind of huge. Here we go. Sorry for the bounciness, folks. Let's see. So an asteroid weighing 7 tons and traveling at 45,000 miles per hour zoomed over the skies of Cleveland and Pennsylvania as a meteor today, causing a loud boom that some residents mistook for an explosion. Looks like several people caught it in action. Some with audio. There we go. Okay, my friends. So, well, thanks for that, Jan. Holy cow. That's some news. We don't see that every day. Wondering what's going on. Awaken Trillium, welcome, welcome. We are one patriot family under God forever. Yes, 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 yes. Let's see. Mount Rushmore, Tammy Joe has arrived. Let's see. Did everyone see Sean Ferris St. Patrick's Day message? Let me see if I can pull that up. He is very, very funny. Sounds just like Trump. Let's see. Sean Ferris. Here we go. Let's play this. Which one? Here we go. I'll do this one. Here we go.
I just wanted to wish you a very happy and highly respected St. Patrick's Day. I'm proud to announce that no president has ever had a bigger shillelagh than I do. It's the biggest and most powerful shillelagh in the history of the world. Big shamrocks, too. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Everybody's talking about it. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. But I got along very well with St. Patrick. And I called him Pat. I said, Pat, all of the gold at the end of your rainbow, you have to give it to your favorite president or else you're going to have a lot of problems. He said to me, we don't want problems, sir, not with you. So we made a beautiful deal. I also got along well with, you may have heard of him, Lucky the Leprechaun. And he said to me, sir, he said to me, laddie, they're after me, Lucky Charms, laddie. What are we going to do about it? I said, we're not going to let them take your Lucky Charms. We're not going to do it. We're going to solve your problem. But it was the North American land whale known as Rosie O'Donnell. She was eating all of the Lucky Charms. She was eating everything in sight. I was talking to Ireland. They said, you have to take her back, sir. She's causing another potato famine, sir. There's no end in sight. She won't stop eating, sir. Please take her back. I said, we're not going to do that. We can't do that. She's your problem now. And so much for the luck of the Irish. Is very unlucky. You have to deal with her, but she's your problem now. If you send her back, I said, if you send her back, we're going to tariff you 5,000% per pound. You don't want that to happen. So they're keeping her. We deported her. They're keeping her. But I hope you have a tremendous St. Patrick's Day. As they say, may your troubles be less. May your blessings be more. That nothing but happiness come through your door. Happy St. Patrick's Day. God bless you. And thank you for your attention to this matter.
Oh, don't tell me I wasn't sharing that. Oh my God, folks, my apologies. You're just watching me. You're watching me just laugh and smile. And that's got to be annoying. Here we go.
This is your favorite president, and I just wanted to wish you a very happy and highly respected St. Patrick's Day. I'm proud to announce that no president has ever had a bigger shillelagh than I do. It's the biggest and most powerful shillelagh in the history of the world. Big shamrocks, too. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Everybody's talking about it. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. But I got along very well with St. Patrick. And I called him Pat. I said, Pat, all of the gold at the end of your rainbow, you have to give it to your favorite president or else you're going to have a lot of problems. He said to me, we don't want problems, sir, not with you. So we made a beautiful deal. I also got along well with, you may have heard of him, Lucky the Leprechaun. And he said to me, sir, he said to me, laddie, they're after me, Lucky Charms, laddie. What are we going to do about it? I said, we're not going to let them take your Lucky Charms. We're not going to do it. We're going to solve your problem. But it was the North American land whale known as Rosie O'Donnell. She was eating all of the Lucky Charms. She was eating everything in sight. I was talking to Ireland. They said, you have to take her back, sir. She's causing another potato famine, sir. There's no end in sight. She won't stop eating, sir. Please take her back. I said, we're not going to do that. We can't do that. She's your problem now. And so much for the luck of the Irish. Is very unlucky. You have to deal with her, but she's your problem now. If you send her back, I said, if you send her back, we're going to tariff you 5,000% per pound. You don't want that to happen. So they're keeping her. We deported her. They're keeping her. But I hope you have a tremendous St. Patrick's Day. As they say, may your troubles be less. May your blessings be more. That nothing but happiness come through your door. Happy St. Patrick's Day. God bless you. And thank you for your attention to this matter.
You know, what do you guys think about, I'll do a reaction show, but I won't show you what I'm reacting to. How about that? That would be fun, wouldn't it? Doesn't that sound like a good time? Kevin, good to see you, my friend. And Kevin also said that he's missed the last two shows. He's had some good excuses. I'm letting it slide, Kev. Letting it slide, my man. But I'm glad you got caught up, and I'm glad you enjoyed the call-ins with the Sneds. Great idea, my friend. Thank you. And I'm so glad we did that. And we're going to do more of that. Please, prayers up for Kevin Willert, my friends, on his way to hospital in Green Bay. That's not the kind of green you want to be dealing with today. Esophagus closed up. So say some prayers, my friends, and our prayers are with you, my friend. So get well. So my friends, this is the 17th day, the Q day. Let's check our coats and let's dial in. Motor Yoder, listening from Howell, Michigan. Gusto, my grandmother's last name was Limerick, not a lick of Irish. That's hilarious. Hi, BP, good to see you. Green with Envy Day, Horseface, nice. Journeyman, a Journey on Forever, hello from North Carolina, good to see you. Yeah, very cool, my friends. Hello, everyone from More Than a Handful, and happy St. Patrick's Day, Dave O. Snedeker. Yes. Good evening, all from Carl. Good to see you. J.L. Bear, that was Toby Keith, If I Was Jesus. I got to check that song out. By the way, got drunk with Toby Keith one night in Playa del Rey, California. Literally drank tequila with the man. Had a nice long conversation with him. He was the real deal. I really, really liked Toby Keith. And God rest his soul. Let's see. V Green, hey Dave, happy St. Patrick's Day, which happens to be my wedding anniversary as well. By the way, my friends, I think I missed a birthday yesterday because we did a tribute, as you know, to our friend, Brandon James Petrie. Sarge went to the ceremony. It was beautiful yesterday. And so, I kind of focused on that. But Kathy Drexler, happy birthday to you. Happy belated birthday to you. Happy belated birthday, dear Kathy. And the luck of the Irish, too. Happy birthday. And thanks for joining us on your birthday. Folks, if you want to get tax-free support to the head SNED, please do so. It is the fifth spin. It'll be the sixth spin of the year. Let me correct that, I believe. No, I think it is the fifth spin, right, Moonbeam? So please look at your into your hearts and into your pocketbooks. But as you know, there is no obligation. This is why I give it away, and have been doing for 7 years, going on 8 years. Going to be into my 8th year. Actually, we're into our 8th year as of my birthday. 8 years, folks. We're into 8 years now. So, yeah. Okay, we're in the 8th year. So thank you all. Thank you, Farhad, for being here. Charged Lady, hi Dave, Gutsy, good to see you. News good, looks like Comer is going after Bondi and her assistant. Okay, all right. J.O. Bear says the boom from the meteor made the dogs jump. Wow, this guy is falling Chicken Little over here from San Clemente, California. There you go. Happy anniversary. Yes, V Green on your happy anniversary to you. So yeah. Hold on, Sheila, in Coshocton, Ohio, where I spent 9 years of my youth. It was raining, a big snowstorm moved in, and once again, it's freezing. Sheila, good to see you. Sheila, what era are you from, if you wouldn't mind telling me? I used to live up on Heated Hill, up on Ridgewood Drive. And it looks like, Diane, I'm getting your text a little bit late regarding the video. Caroline, thank you for giving me a heads up on that, by the way. And let's see. Okay, this is good. So, my friends, let's get into the show. I am a little bit behind on your comments. Great to see you all, and I hope. Thank you, Peggy. Appreciate you. I hope that you, if you haven't seen the call-in show, please go check that out. And if you haven't seen, and by the way, if you ever want to go to Rumble and catch up on some shows, just go to the Indoctrination page, okay? And you can see the long list of many shows. I think there's over 500 shows on here now of my my work and our work together. But the Sned's birthday call-in show was awesome. It was so great to talk to some of you. And then last night, there was some good information at the beginning, especially regarding Q. And then we did a memorial for James. And that's a short show. It's only an hour and a half. And I might do an hour and a half tonight simply because I have to pack and I'm out of here tomorrow, going and looking at a few colleges for our daughter. And I'm going to see some old friends. And so I will be pretty tied up. So I don't know if I'll be getting to do a show this week. So I'm treating this as kind of my vacation. Won't be hanging out on the beach. We'll be, doing some good stuff and some good work. But this is where you can find the Indoctrination on Rumble. And then if you want to go to X and find these shows, you go to my page at Dave Snedeker on X, okay? And go to highlights. And when you go to highlights, you're really going to just see all the shows, okay? And that's where you can find the shows on X. So go to my page at Dave Snedeker and go to highlights right here, okay? And you'll be able to see some of the past shows, okay? And again, highly, highly recommend you see those two shows, okay? Now, a couple things. One, I've got my Where We Go One, We Go All mug, Sned heads right there. One Nation Under God, and I have a little bit of not Irish whiskey, but Texas whiskey. Cheers, everybody. Just going to have a few sips to celebrate a day where a lot of people imbibe. But for those of you who do not, hats off to you for, breaking the trend that is not necessarily healthy. I like a little whiskey from time to time. It's a good natural blood thinner. And thank you, Jan. That was a great show. Really enjoyed it. Which one, Jan? I know you like both of them, but uh, Jan Marie, good evening. Not only Irish, but grass is green. Grass green is my favorite color. Very cool. Very cool. BP, thanks for the long 8 years, Dave. You're welcome. Thank you for that. Whew, man, has it been a journey, my friends? Has it been a journey? It's incredible. So, okay. So let me get into a few things with you tonight here. I want to first of all, we've got some serious election stuff happening now. You and I have been obviously we've been frustrated over the elections for quite some time, and so this is um, she's okay. What do I want to get to first here? Well, let me show the real President Trump message on St. Patrick's Day and get you to that. Hold on. Let me get this to you. Um, here we go. What's going on? What's going on? Here we go. Got some odd things happening on my screen. I am doing I normally have two monitors up, but I only have one monitor up right now until I get my new studio set up. Here we go. Let's listen to President Trump wearing a green tie with
But on
a
this St.
first
Patrick's
flag.
Day, as we press ahead toward the opportunities that await, let us remember the beautiful words of St. Patrick himself. May the power of God preserve us. May the wisdom of God instruct us. May the hand of God protect us. May the way of God direct us. May the shield of God defend us. And may the host of God guard us. That's beautiful. Thank you. And today we add, may God bless the people of Ireland and may God bless the United States of America. But on this
There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. Also, yes, I did remember Deborah Short yesterday, her birthday, which I missed because of the, um, ceremony for Sarge. Deborah, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Deborah. May your life be long and healthy and not like your name short. God bless you. Happy birthday. And thank you for spending your birthday with us yesterday. And I'm sorry I didn't get that birthday song to you yesterday. Yeah, may the wisdom of God instruct us. Let's see. Yeah, the Defiant One. Shame we all celebrate fake myths like St. Patrick. You know, it's I think I agree with you, Defiant One. It's kind of like we have these, I mean, Christmas is that as well, right? Easter is that with the so but we've made it what it is today, and it's in our culture. And I think that it was very it's very much become a part of our culture. And the important thing is to know the true history and to understand that. And because we celebrate these, it also, I think, think about how many people have awakened because of Christmas, Easter, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, Bloody Day, Valentine's Day Massacre, all these different celebrations. I heard Rob Schneider, a stand up with Rob Schneider. I don't think I have that handy, but where he said that the, gay people get a whole month of gay pride. our greatest presidents, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, don't even get their own day. They have to share a day. Okay. And Rob Schneider said, so basically, if Lincoln and Washington sucked each other's dicks, they'd get a whole month. So I thought that was pretty hilarious. And yeah, thank you, the fine one. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your heads up about some of the truth. And I don't get too much into it, but Mizzo, St. Patrick was kidnapped as a kid, landed in Ireland to become a shepherd, ran away back to the British, and got stuffed in a monastery for 20 years, and then was sent back to Ireland to preach. Good stuff. Teresa says, I use today to celebrate my grandparents. See, shift it into something that really benefits us. That's beautiful, Teresa. That's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So, so we are, we've got some major stuff going on. And I want to get into, some of the elections, and I want to play a little bit of, Glenn Beck with you talking about the elections. Okay, here we go.
By April 2020, U.S. intelligence knew something explosive. China had gained access to American voter registration data across multiple states, not ballots, but names, addresses, driver's license, partial social security numbers. Think of this, how dangerous this is. They have your name, address, driver's license, and social security number. Do you know what could be done by fraud alone? This is the kind of data you don't need to change a vote. You need it to influence vote, to impersonate, to target, to manipulate. And they didn't just take it, they analyzed it. China took it, they studied it, they mapped American voters like a battlefield. When you have this kind of information, they can influence what you read, what you see all the time. Here's the part that's really frustrating. Our government knew this in 2020. There were clear intelligence reports that we're just finding out now. In 2026, there were briefings. There was even a presidential daily briefing that talked about it. Congress wasn't told. The American people weren't told. And according to whistleblowers now, even the president of the United States wasn't fully informed, but I don't think that guy knew his shoes were on at times. The reports were blocked, they were buried, they were hidden, and at the same time, you were told something very different. You were told this election is the most secure in history. There is no real foreign interference to worry about, so don't question it. How is that possible? How is that possible? China is harvesting voter data. Chinese-linked groups are running influence campaigns. Are. Thousands of fake driver's licenses are being seized, mostly from China. And an FBI intelligence report raising concerns about fraudulent mail-in voting schemes, that's pulled back. Told to be deleted. And the day after testimony said, nothing to see here, nothing happened. No, there's nothing happening. Let me be clear about something. There is no smoking gun like this. The voting machines were hacked. Not like this. That's not the story. This story is much more dangerous than that, because you don't need to hack a machine when you can hack people. Here's the question that our press should be asking. How is it we can secure our nuclear weapon systems? How is it we can secure our military networks, our SWIFT global banking system, our intelligence infrastructure all around the world, but we cannot secure my ID and my vote? Don't tell me it's too complicated. Don't tell me it's too expensive. Don't tell me it's impossible. We put a rover on Mars We track trillions of dollars across continents in milliseconds. Milliseconds. We can verify your identity to open a bank account, board a plane, buy a house, but voting, that's too hard. What? No, it's not that we can't secure it. It's that for some reason, and maybe I should check Punchbowl News, for some reason, the people in charge don't want it secured, which leads to the only question that matters. Why?
That, yeah. See, what's happening, excuse me, in Venezuela and what's happening in Iran and with Maduro sitting down with Tulsi Gabbard is it's exposing the foreign influence in our federal elections and into our local elections as well. And this is happening as we speak. And it's very, very important that we keep an eye on this, because this is all happening in a very, very fast manner. Okay. Let's go to John Solomon. Britain had a meltdown when China hacked the its voter registration files, but the U.S. intel kept it secret when it happened to America. This is just the news. Let's go to that. I've got to hold on a second. Let me hold on. Okay, here we go.
President Donald Trump and his supporters were targeted by 4 consecutive FBI codename counterintelligence investigations over the last decade. From the moment President Trump secured the nomination in the summer of 2016 to the moment he raised his hand for his second inauguration in January 2025, he was subjected to 4 straight consecutive counterintelligence probes, each of them designed to try to find some form of criminality against him. Each of them, or in total, they subjected hundreds of innocent Americans to privacy invading tactics, things like their phone records being taken, grand jury subpoenas, extraordinary developments and intrusions on their everyday life. And the FBI, before Kash Patel came in, essentially treated the man twice elected president as a national security threat. That's what a counterintelligence investigation is. That means for almost the first 9 years of his career, the FBI only saw Donald Trump as a potential threat to national security. First, I want to get to one more headline. Just a little while ago, President Trump giving an update.
So the election stuff is coming out. Okay, the what's going. And by the way, I recommend you all follow. Let me get you this account here. I would like you to follow Unite for Freedom, and this is please follow Unite for Freedom on X. Okay, Unite for Freedom is showing the data analysis of the 2026 Texas Democrat and Republican primaries. I reported on this yesterday. Unite for Freedom on X is really doing a great job. Group of citizen volunteers from across the country working to make sure our elections are legal, valid, and accurate. So it's not just Texas. It's going to, they're going to, report on an election near you. So please follow Unite for Freedom, and let's stay on top of these voting irregularities and absolute criminality that we are seeing across the board, across our great country. And that is why we are experiencing what we're experiencing with, for example, these Democrat-run cities. that are absolutely, they've been Democrat for decades and decades. And the reason why is because they've been stolen, flat out stolen. And we are going to see quite a bit, right? So this is, why is the best question ever? You know, why are we allowing this? And the reason why we're allowing this is because the people in charge are the ones benefiting from it, right? So let's go to Joshua Hall. Former Biden White House official comes forward to reveal that, and this is, again, this is election interference, right? That Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and other high-ranking members of the Biden administration were in constant contact with special counsel Jack Smith regarding the prosecution of President Trump in the lead up to the 2024 election. They were reportedly calling the shots, including the timing of the indictments. So these whistleblowers are now stepping forward. And folks, just so you know, I think that they're being emboldened because these whistleblowers are no longer being punished. And as one whistleblower, potential whistleblower, sees a whistleblower come out and get these kind of headlines, they are going to be emboldened themselves to come out because they're no longer being taken out. They're no longer being murdered. They're no longer being vilified by the mainstream media because we have X, because we have Truth Social, because we have Snedeheads. We're getting this word out and it's not being censored. It's not being ridiculed. So Jack Smith, regarding the prosecution of President Trump in the lead up to the 2024 election, they were reportedly calling the shots, including the timing of the indictments. That was very cool because very important because of how that affected President Trump's, race. So much so they were taking him off the ballots and so forth. The crimes charged in the release of the so-called evidence to the American public. They were also said to be coaching witnesses and promising them immunity from prosecution and favorable treatment from a Harris administration in exchange for negative testimony meant to incriminate President Trump. They're even alleged to have ordered the incarceration of our great president shortly before the election, but decided against it at the last minute after coming to the conclusion that it would actually help him. And we saw that, by the way, because we saw the lawfare and we saw how that was actually making Trump stronger, right? I was making jokes about how the arrest of President Trump is making him more gangster, right? The assassination attempt against President Trump is making him more gangster. It's making him more of a martyr. President Trump was right all along. The Biden administration engaged in unprecedented lawfare to weaponize the justice system to try and politically imprison their opponent in the 2024 election, and it was all coordinated from the top. This is the most egregious act of election interference in the history of our country. When will Pam Bondi finally hold these thugs accountable? I believe it is happening. I believe that they are putting this together right now as we speak. They are building these cases. Okay. I got some really cool stuff to share with you. But let me get to that. This is Joe Rogan talking with a man about China because now it's coming out. You notice China's been very quiet about the election. About the war against Iran, and they haven't been getting involved where they have in the past. Russia has in the past.
You're saying that China has 10 years to go.
At most.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we now know that they've lied about their population statistics, and they overcounted their population by over 100 million people, all of whom would have been born since the one-child policy was adopted. So this is one of those places where they've got more people in their 60s and their 50s and their 40s and their 30s and their 20s.
Now, what was the logic behind the one child? Was it that they were overpopulating?
Mao was concerned that as the country was modernizing, the birth rate wasn't dropping fast enough, and that the young generation was literally going to eat the country alive. So they went through a breakneck urbanization program, which destroyed the birth rate. At the same time, they penalized anyone who wanted to have kids. And both of those at the same time have generated the demographic collapse we're in now.
And the problem with that also was that they wanted male children.
Yeah, there's a cultural aspect to that too. And obviously men can't have kids on their own.
And what is the like ratio to men to women in the younger people in China now?
Before the data revision with the last set of lies, it was about 1 to 1.2. It was the most distorted in the world, even more than Sri Lanka, where there had been a civil war for 30 years. Since then, we don't have good sex by sex data, but it's undoubtedly worse.
And so what are the other problems that they're encountering that leads you to believe that they only have 10 years left?
Well, without young people, we've seen their labor costs increase by a factor of 14 since the year 2000. So Mexican labor is now 1/3 the cost of Chinese labor. Their educational system focuses on memorization over skills. So despite $1 trillion of investment in a bottomless supply of intellectual property theft, they really haven't advanced technologically in the last 15 years. Mexican labor is probably about twice as skilled as Chinese labor now, even though it's 1/3 the cost. They've consolidated into an ethnic-based, paranoid, nationalistic cult of personality, and it's very difficult for the Xi administration to even run it because it's not an administration anymore. No one wants to bring Xi information on anything. So we now have tech barricades that prevent the Chinese from buying the equipment, the tools, or the software that's necessary to make semiconductors. In fact, he went so far as to say any Americans working in the sector have to either quit or give up their American citizenship. Every single one of them either quit or was transferred abroad within 24 hours. So the tech system is stalled. They don't have the young people to go consumption-led. They're completely dependent on the U.S. Navy to access international trade. They are the most vulnerable country in the world right now. And based on how things go with Russia, we're looking at a significant amount of raw materials falling off the map, specifically food and energy. And the Chinese are the world's largest importer of both of those things. So there's no version of this where China comes through looking good. And the challenge for the rest of us is to figure out how do we, in as smooth and quick as a process as possible, figure out how we can get along without them, because they are going away. And they're going away this decade for certain.
You're saying
So China is on the way down, or on the way out, as we should say, right? And I also want to show you that what's happening with India, right? Now, Q's told us that Trump is working with Modi and Xi and Putin to break up this worldwide terror organization, this worldwide manipulation of the masses, this worldwide child trafficking. God bless the landlocked Czech Republic. Czech Prime Minister Andrej Babiš has decided to dispatch the Czech cruiser Krutek to the Persian Gulf, making the Czech Republic the sole EU nation to join the US-led coalition. And then also India sent a carrier to support the ships in the Strait of Hormuz to help those ships come through to help their energy situation. So that's huge. But this is not just happening. It's happening by a script, right? And the script is significant because it's showing who the U.S. allies are, okay? So I want to take you to President Trump's last post of the day, and this is really, really key, okay? President's last post, actually, he just had one 47 minutes ago. I won't go to that one right now, but I just wanted to let you know that it's not the last post of the day. This was earlier today at 11:18 a.m. Let me make one adjustment here. Okay. So, President Trump's post. The United States has been informed by most of our NATO allies that they don't want to get involved with our military operation. Wait a minute, did I have you there with me? I thought I did. Here we go. Against the terrorist regime of Iran in the Middle East. This, despite the fact that almost every country strongly agreed with what we are doing, and that Iran cannot in any way, shape, or form be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. I am not surprised by their action, however, because I always considered NATO, where we spend hundreds of billions of dollars per year protecting these same countries, to be a one-way street. We will protect them, but they will do nothing for us, in particular in a time of need. Fortunately, we have decimated Iran's military. Their navy is gone. Their air force is gone. Their anti-aircraft and radar is gone. And perhaps most importantly, their leaders at virtually every level are gone, never to threaten us, our Middle Eastern allies, or the world again. Because of the fact, and by the way, the Middle Eastern allies is no longer just Israel. That's what's so important to remember. The Board of Peace and all these countries in the UAE that have joined the Board of Peace and that are on the side of President Trump, and are even more on the side of President Trump in the United States, since Iran just willy-nilly sent missiles to these countries, damaging these countries. So this is our ally, everybody that says all Trump's doing it for Israel. No. He's doing it for the Middle East and for the world. And most importantly, well, not most importantly, because, he's America first. So this is helping us immensely. But the Iranian people are calling for this regime to be gone because it is so oppressive, right? So he sees the hundreds of billions going towards NATO, protecting these countries to be a one-way street. We will protect them, but they will do nothing for us, in particular in a time of need. Fortunately, goes through all that. Because of the fact that we've had such military success, we no longer need or desire the NATO countries' assistance. We never did. Likewise, Japan, Australia, or South Korea. In fact, speaking as President of the United States of America, by far the most powerful country anywhere in the world, we do not need the help of anyone. Thank you for your attention in this matter, President Donald John Trump. Now, I want to take you to two things, okay? We're going to go into a dive here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the capital letter count. So we're going to go to snedheads.com. We're going to go to the research the Q drops, which is going to take us to here, and we're going to go to the capital letter counter. We're going to put in this post in the capital letters. Again, many of these things, Middle Eastern allies, leaders, world, all capitalized, not proper nouns, not necessarily capitalized, but because President Trump is capitalizing, he's taking us to drop 118. Okay. Now, what else takes us to drop 118? This is what you call a double confirmation drop. If we go back to the timestamp, it is, 10:18 Central Time, but it is 11:18 Eastern Time, okay? Because we always drop the 0, so it's 1:18, but 11:18 as well. So it's a double confirmation that he wants us to go here. Now, 118 is one we've been to many times. What family was permitted to leave immediately after 9/11? Who authorized the departure? Why is this relevant? Et cetera, et cetera. What was anyone else permitted to leave? Was anyone else permitted to leave? No. This goes straight to Saudi Arabia. Okay. And the Saudi Arabia connection to our politicians like Hillary Clinton and many, many others, by the way. Okay. Now, this was the old Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia was the first side of the triangle to fall. Next is Soros or Rothschilds, and then the entire triangle collapses. Okay. But what does money buy? Okay, it buys influence, it buys votes, it buys rigged elections, etc. All foreign money. Saudi Arabia was first, right? And the financial backer for human trafficking, Saudi Arabia was big on that. And how does Facebook and Instagram play a role in capture? This is how they're capturing the young children. Okay. And they've been guilty of child porn on their sites and child, manipulation, child trafficking on their sites. Okay. So why do select senior political officials have foundations/institutes? Okay. Now this is very big too, because what's coming out right now is the let me see if I can find this quickly for you. I've got a few things to show you tonight, which are very, very interesting. Here we go. Let me get to this. Let me take you to this story. I'm going to interrupt this dive with this video. Here we go. Now, President Trump took us to that drop about, foreign influence and foreign infiltration into our Congress and into our politics.
How they turned a blind eye toward that. But yeah, we're going to focus on Minnesota because we want to find out exactly how this went down. But I recognize this is the tip of the iceberg. I've said this before. The Somalis, they're amateurs. I mean, they're relatively new to this country. The fraud that is going on when the federal government spends $7 trillion, the endemic fraud, the legalized fraud. One of the things we're looking into is I saw a report, non-governmental organizations. I asked Russ Vogt, how much of our $7 trillion flows through NGOs? He didn't know because we don't track it. So I saw, I think it's the St. Louis Fed that keeps track of the assets of NGOs. You know what the number is? It's $14.1 trillion. $14.1 trillion. So again,
wow. My friends, $14.1 trillion that are going into our NGOs, okay, that are funding the demise of our country. Okay.
I'm asking my staff, go back, but let's see whether the St. Louis Fed has kept track of this throughout history. Let's see how this is built up, how much came from private foundations, how much came literally from government, federal funds flowing through NGOs, never quite getting to the recipients, but gets waylaid in their net assets. So again, that's a powerful economic block right there, $14.1 trillion. And so when you start asking, who's funding all these peaceful protests? Who's doing the training of these activists that are harassing, obstructing ICE? Who funded the vans that dropped off ride equipment in the summer of love to those riots during the summer of 2020? Again, there's a lot of the question is, who are they? I think they may be included in that $14.1 trillion group of NGOs.
Yeah, I mean, this is where all the corruption lays, and this is President Trump took us to this drop, which brings attention to that exact fact. We are watching a white hat script, my friends. Okay. Why do select senior political officials have foundations, institutes? What is money laundering? What does money buy? Okay. I had a post up earlier that about how much money former President Clinton got and how much money former Secretary of State and First Lady got. Brilliant Hollyhand, Bill Clinton received about $15 million for his memoir, My Life. Hillary received about $8 million for her memoir, Living History. That's about $23 million for the memories of two people who testify they can't remember anything. Very interesting, right? I mean, like, think about it, right? So back to the Q drop, okay? What other people were arrested in Saudi Arabia? What are their backgrounds? Are there any connected to the Podesta group? Now, this is John Podesta, Tony Podesta. John was Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman and came out and spoke when she lost the election to Donald J. Trump. She didn't even come out, okay? John Podesta, we know, is a pedo. We know the artwork in their house, both Tony and John. Very, very pedophilic. Okay. Why is this relevant? What do you need in order to prosecute senior political officials? Now, what we're seeing with Congress, now I'm about to fly. Okay. And we know that TSA is not funded right now. Think about that. The Democrats chose to not fund the TSA. Okay. That's causing a lot of problems in the United States because we are now, let me just play this for you. This is it.
We're doing absolutely everything we can. We have a national deployment office force, and we've fully depleted that. So at this point, we're fully stretched. And so, frankly, there's not much else we can do. As the weeks continue, if this continues, it's not hyperbole to suggest that we may have to quite literally shut down airports, particularly smaller ones, if call out rates go up and we can't, a lot of these officers can't afford to come in. I talked to one officer this week. She's a single mother and she has a special needs child and she can't afford to pay for her special needs child's childcare. So again, I believe it's frankly unconscionable that we have Senate Democrats that are playing, they're holding our folks' financial livelihood hostage over political games, political partisanship. So we really need to get back to normal order. We're doing absolutely everything we can. We have a national deployment office force, and we've fully depleted that. So at this point,
so they've depleted the money that they have for national emergencies like this. So now we're talking about TSA members not getting paid any longer, as if they're going to show up to work. So this is a huge problem. I was told to get to the airport 2 hours early because of the TSA backlog. Houston put out cots for people to rest and lay down because the backlog was so significant. This isn't about layovers. This is about people getting stuck before security. Okay. So, what do you need in order to prosecute senior political officials? Well, you need, first of all, for the population to understand that they're not necessary. Almost everything that President Trump has done, all the success he's had in the past year, okay, has been without Congress. Okay. So the American people are seeing how inept Congress is. Certainly, all the travelers right now, okay, seeing all the NGOs, seeing all this. How do you avoid public misconception? Well, they really have to show us how ineffective before they show us how corrupt they are. Okay. How do you justify counter-political attacks to the mass public? Why is information so vital? Is the country divided? Why does the mainstream media portray the country as being divided? Why is this relevant? Because the mainstream media has to be exposed as well. Now, this was 118. This was the capital letter account. Okay. Now, let's think mirror on the 118. 811. How do you break up something this big? What happens if low, mid, senior, non-corrupt patriots learn they were sold out? By who? By the corrupt politicians. Okay. We need to experience this. Q said multiple times, you cannot tell the people the truth, you must show them. What happens? What happens when we find out we were sold out? We're hearing about the NGOs. We're hearing about the ineffectiveness of Congress. We're hearing about Judge Boasberg just tried to, make it illegal for President Trump to deport the Haitians that were on temporary immigration status. Okay. And now the Supreme Court is most likely going to overrule Judge Boasberg. Okay. And this is huge because we are seeing the corruptness of the judiciary. I'll give you an example, my friends. This man was pistol whipped. Our friend Sarge was pistol whipped as he was lying on the ground. Okay, his face in the casket was very dark, and his ex-wife told me because of all the bruising from being pistol whipped. Okay, as he was lying on the ground, William Ridgely, also a Marine, as was Sarge, and a combat vet from where he did his training in 29 Palms, okay, which is known for higher than average PTSD because of the hazing. And we saw A Few Good Men. They celebrated Rob Reiner at the Oscars this year because he passed away. He made some great movies. He was a fucking loser when it came to politics. And he was, I believe, protecting himself from what he knew was coming out. Okay. Which is why he was so anti-Trump and anti-common fucking sense too. Okay. But a very talented filmmaker. Made A Few Good Men, and they talked about the code red. Those kind of things happen in the military, and they were happening at 29 Palms, and it caused a lot of PTSD. They are higher. The Marines that come out of there are higher in suicide, homicide, and PTSD than the national average of Marines around the country. Okay, so that's significant. But as Sarge was laying there in the grass that I went to yesterday, where it happened in a field close to his home, he shot him once, boom, twice, boom, 3 times, boom, 4 times, boom, 5, boom, 6, boom, 7, boom, 8, boom, 9, boom, 10, boom, 11, boom, 12, boom, 13, boom. He shot him 13 times in the back. Okay. Our judiciary, the justice of the peace of Bell County, let this man out on $500,000 bond. He is now walking the streets in Bell County in Killeen for the next year before it goes to trial. Our judiciary is being exposed right now through acts just like that. Okay. And we are seeing this. All right. But we are seeing it in a way that is, you must, you can't tell people the truth. You must show them. And we are being shown this corruption. We are being shown the absolute corruption in the judiciary. And this is absolutely vital for us because we have the executive branch. And what we're seeing is the absolute corruption of Biden with the auto pen, with the border, et cetera, et cetera. We're seeing the corruption of Obama and how he tried to take out President Trump, Kamala. We're seeing the corruption in the executive branch. Bill Clinton, who went to Epstein Island 26 times, okay? First Lady Hillary Clinton. Excuse me. Cheers, everybody. Happy St. Patty's Day as I drink from my Holly Marsh mug of the fish, the Pisces, my birthday month, my birthday week. So cheers, everybody. And by the way, if you would like to donate and give me a birthday gift, you may do so through donation. As you know, every show I do is for free. And I give this all away because this information is absolutely imperative that you have access to it and it's not behind a paywall. Okay. Very, very important. And so we must keep that in mind. Excuse me. So if you would like to support independent media and send a birthday gift my way, you will find the links in the chat in which you can do exactly that. Look for either my posts or for Moonbeams. And I thank you for those of you who have already stepped up and really shown me the gift, the true gift of my birthday and your support. And I'm just grateful to all of you who are taking the extra step to keep the lights on with this channel, and so that that I can continue to spend hours upon hours scouring the most important information and bring it to you. So let me take us back to the Q drops. Now, so we went to mirror the 118 capital letter count. We're now at 811. What happens when we find out that we were sold out? Who is waiting with our open arms with a plan to reorganize under a single entity with direct oversight by trusted patriots? Who are trusted patriots who understand intel collection? This is the Q team, okay? So we're seeing the corruption in the executive branch. We're seeing now the corruption of the legislative branch, right? With the NGOs, with the ineffective Congress, with them not even passing a SAVE Act, which is the most common sense legislation you could possibly have to protect the elections of the United States population. Period. End of story. Okay. President Trump also said that he would not support any Republican who does not vote for the SAVE Act. And you know what happens when he doesn't support you. Marjorie Taylor Greene, boom, you're gone. Okay. They have to pass the SAVE Act. This needs to happen before the midterms. Now, this was a repost, okay, of February 22nd. For those watching, this should scare you, okay? It's the power you depend on to survive. So Q is saying, for those watching, meaning the politicians, the judges, okay, former presidents, right? Because we have the executive, we have the legislative that is being exposed, and then we have the judicial. Okay. And Judge Boasberg trying to prevent President Trump from deporting the Haitians, which are under this temporary immigration status. Okay. And here's this story here from Nick Sorter. Let me jump to this. The Supreme Court has announced that they'll be stepping in after activist judges barred the Trump administration from ending Biden's temporary protected status for over 350,000 Haitians. Thank God. Temporary means temporary. Send them all back. The nightmare being lived by the people of Springfield and so many other American towns will finally be over. Of course, they're talking about Springfield, Ohio. SCOTUS will be hearing oral arguments in the case in April. Okay. So the judiciary is being exposed, right? Back to the Q drops. They're telling these people from those three areas of control of our country, this should scare you, because this is the power you depend on to survive. Money is worthless without those in power serving you. Telling that to us, white hats, military, patriots ready to play. President Trump took us to this. Okay. Now, the double was the 118, because the timestamp on this post was 11/18. Okay. And it takes us to China. China's embrace of foreign cars. This is a New York Times, and I refuse to give any credibility to the New York Times. First word in the article is Xinjiang, China. For more than a decade, Chinese automakers have been talking about starting large-scale exports to North America and Europe, prompting periodic worries in the West that companies like General Motors, Ford, and Volkswagen might be crippled by Chinese competition the way they were by Japanese imports a generation ago. Now, what is it about the Chinese, invasion, if you will, or of our country with low-cost goods because they manipulate their currency, but also the trade imbalance that President Trump has taken care of? He got the auto workers to vote for him because he's bringing American manufacturing jobs, especially the automobile industry, back to the United States. Okay. That's why that significant interview with Joe Rogan I just showed you is so important, because China is on the way out, because China cannot survive. Remember the tariffs that President Trump was playing around with China to balance the trade in his first administration. What did China do? China and our deep state dumped the COVID upon us and got Trump out of office because they were then able to manipulate the elections. Okay. So this is all very, very much related to what is going on right now. And President Trump took us there with his last post before this one. And I'll take you to this one now because I want to make sure we get his last one. And this is a repost of Joe Kent. Real Donald Trump, we should not sit and wait for the next attack, wipe Iran's ballistic capability out, and get our troops out of Iraq. They are only targets now. No U.S. via Kia is a tribute to the professionalism of our military and intel professionals, not Iranian restraint. This is no U.S. wounded in action and killed in action, right? Is a tribute to the professionalism. So President Trump reposted that. Let's see if he took us anywhere with this. Now, on something like that, we don't do capital letter count, but we do go to 913 in the Q drops. And sometimes we'll do the military. So let me take us there. And that's further also 913, I'm sorry, 913. And let's also do the military timestamp, because that would take us to 2113, right? And let's see if President Trump is telling us anything in addition. 913, Five Eyes is very important. It won't be around much longer. Relevant here, but not the focus. And Anon responds to Q's post and says, awesome, Five Eyes is basically a group of countries asking each other to spy on one another's citizens so they can skirt their own privacy laws, which is treason, by the way. Okay? Now, let's not forget President Trump's post right before this, even though it was earlier this morning, 11:18, was criticism of our NATO allies. Who is Five Eyes? UK, France, Italy, Australia, and New Zealand. Okay. So UK, Italy, France, and NATO. He's criticizing NATO here. Okay. He's basically going to take us out of NATO, because here's why. President Trump isn't concerned with Russia. Russia isn't the bad guy anymore. Russia is no longer the boogeyman. Russia is helping President Trump stop child trafficking, Satanism, the spread of the Khazarian mafia. Russia is a part of that. Russia did not allow in all of these immigrants from third world countries, from Muslim countries into their country. Nor did Poland, nor did Hungary. But the NATO countries did. They have been taken over by the deep state, and President Trump knows that. So he's taken us to Five Eyes with this next timestamp, saying we're not going to do this anymore. So those are three of our allies that are going bye-bye. And then, but what about Australia? Well, likewise, Japan, Australia, or South Korea. The only one he doesn't mention here is New Zealand. Okay? We do not need the help of anyone, including Five Eyes, including the military. Remember what he said about Starmer. Starmer said, "Okay, we're going to send our Navy to the Middle East." He said, "No, we don't need you." France, same thing. You guys, we're going to send it after the war was over. Now, the Czech and India, he's not saying don't send them. Why? Because they're not NATO. They're not our so-called allies. They're our real allies. And this is resetting the world stage. This is absolutely brilliant. And what we were watching is a white hat script play out in real time. Let's go to the military timestamp. I have not done this dive. I'm doing this live with you now, and it's pretty dazing, wouldn't you say? September 7th, 2018. This was reposted 3 times. The JC tweet, which is James Comey, about standing tall over the last 8 months. Activate sleeper cells, misspell. I think he was saying in 8 months to activate, that would be September. This is an Anon saying this. Excuse me. Q says, do you believe in coincidences? New York Times Anon source. Sleeper cells. Okay. Now, what are we seeing because of Iran and because of what's happening? We're concerned over. Matt Trucker told us the other night. James was telling us the other day when we were going over the Texas stuff about the CDL licenses and how they've been given to all of these illegal immigrants, especially Muslim illegal immigrants, and how that can be used against us, whether they stop supply chains or whether they do terrorist activities. So we do have sleeper cells of the Muslim Brotherhood in our country, and that is being exposed. By the way, this war against Iran is exposing the election corruption, is going to expose Obama and the money he sent to Iran. It's going to expose Obama and Hillary because of the money and the uranium from the Uranium One deal that was sent to Iran and North Korea. Okay. And it's going to expose their intention with all of that, which was to start World War III by one of these rogue players and force more control over you and I, a la the Patriot Act, for example. Okay. Logical thinking, month September, public learned GJ impaneled regarding McCabe. Okay. Grand jury, public learned grand jury impaneled McCabe. He was number 2 in the FBI under James Comey, which was brought up here. Coincidence? Follow the connections. We have it all. Q. Okay. This is all related. It's all, I mean, folks, I could have, one of these timestamps, I could put in, let's call it, 213 instead of 2113, for example. Let's say it was a completely different timestamp. Okay. 213, the world cannot swallow the truth. Somewhat significant, but it's not specific. It's not specific to what's going on. So here's an example of a timestamp that had he done it at 2:13 Eastern time in the afternoon, it really wouldn't have been specific to what's going on right now. That's just an example. So when I bring up these when I go into this dive, this is significant communication from President Trump using the Q map to take us in and let us know what's really going on behind the scenes. My friends, it's absolute genius, and it's a way in which he can communicate to us, those who are really paying attention, in a way that the mainstream media isn't doing. All these fake, podcasters that make you think that they're pro-Trump, but then they cut it off when it has to do with one thing or another. They lead you on and then say, oh, I don't support Trump anymore. And they'll get maybe 10% of their followers to go along with them, maybe more, because they trust them. They wear their t-shirts, they buy their mugs or whatever, and they follow along. And when they go off Trump, many of those people do. And please understand, this is the new controlled opposition. The controlled opposition is no longer just restricted to the mainstream media. The controlled opposition has spread to all these alternative media sources. So if you're following somebody that is not Q, do yourself a favor and temper that information. Now, I share information here of people that aren't Q, but I'm only picking the information that is relevant and is significant and is factual. Because remember, controlled opposition, they'll tell you 9 things that are true. so that you know, oh, he said this was true, and then that was true. I did my research on this, and that was true, and that was true. What he said, what she said, and then they'll tell you that 10th thing that is untrue, but you go along with it because they've given you all this other information that was true. Yes, Ms. O, this is getting good, right? Okay, so this is very, very significant. Wait a minute, Joe Kent resigned today? What? Let me look at this. Okay, interesting. Okay. So President Trump shared Joe Kent today on his Truth Social. Okay. So he was quoting President Trump. He wasn't saying this. He was quoting President Trump in this post that President Trump reposted. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. He wasn't saying this. He's saying that President Trump is doing this, is saying this. So let's go to Joe Kent. After much reflection, I have decided to resign from my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center effective today. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. It has been an honor serving under POTUS and DNI Gabbard and leading the professionals at NCTC. May God bless America. Okay. And a senior administration official tells Fox Joe Kent was a known leaker, and he was cut out of POTUS's intelligence briefings months ago. The White House told DNI Tulsi Gabbard he should be fired for suspected leaks, but she never did. He has not been part of any Iran planning discussions or briefings at all. Okay, this is very interesting. Very interesting that President Trump reposted this, okay, after, see, Joe Kent did this 13 hours ago. President Trump reposted him just like an hour ago. Very interesting. He pushed him into the spotlight. More to come on Joe Kent, I guarantee you that. Okay. That's very interesting. Damn it. I thought I was taking you with me. My apologies. Hate when I do that. But let me show you Joe Kent's account. Right here. This is the post that he made. Okay. And what I was going to say before they said a senior White House official. Okay. This was February 3rd, a year ago. Thank you, President Trump. It's an honor to serve our nation again. Okay. And then 13 hours ago, he, cannot support the war in Iran. Now, why is he doing that? Right? Because he is a part of it. C. Cutler, thank you for that. That was great that you guys caught that. Thank you. Tracy, good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Why let traitors walk? They're not going to let him walk. They're exposing him first. They're exposing him first. Yeah. Kent exposed. Yeah. Yeah. So this is one of the leakers. I guarantee you. This is one of the leakers. Polar Bear Paw says 200,000 migrant truck drivers have also been denied renewal. This is excellent news. Thank you for that. That's good stuff, right? He did 11 combat tours and his wife was killed in action. Trump said he was weak on terrorism. Thank you for your service, Joe Kent. But here's the problem. You may not say leak, and that's national security, and you may not criticize the president if you have skeletons in the closet, because Q said the last post we saw, we have it all, and the skeletons in the closet is absolutely gonna come to light, right? So this is going to be really interesting to watch this play out. Let me see. Yeah, a lot of them can't walk, Dave. Gone. Yeah. Better to let them retire with a pension than to fire them with a pending prison. They won't get pension if they're getting found out. Joe, what do you think about the Chavez deal, Dave? let's go to that. Thank you, Joe, for that. This was interesting. Okay, let me play this for you. Let's see. Here we go.
Venezuela show the Venezuelan. Antonio Mujica and his partner Alfredo Anzola received a small business loan from the Venezuelan government only months before the recall election. These corporate Venezuela show the Venezuelan government owned 28% of the.
Hold on a sec. Sorry.
Antonio Mujica and his partner Alfredo Anzola received a small business loan from the Venezuelan government only months before the recall election. These corporate registration documents from Venezuela show the Venezuelan government owned 28% of the stock of another company they started, Bizta, which adapted voting software for the Smartmatic machines in the 2004 elections. The same document shows a Chavez government minister, Omar Montillo, was on the board of directors. The Chavez government gave Bizta, Smartmatic, and another company a $91 million contract to run voting machines for the 2004 election. The next year, the owners of Smartmatic, primarily owned by Venezuelan businessmen, bought Sequoia, one of the top electronic voting system companies in the United States, for $16 million. Smartmatic is a labyrinth of international holding companies owned by Venezuelan businessmen. Smartmatic Group NV of Curaçao, Netherlands, Antilles owns Smartmatic International BV of Amsterdam, Netherlands, owns Smartmatic Corporation of Florida, which bought Sequoia Voting Systems of California, USA. When Smartmatic bought the U.S. voting machine companies, the U.S. government did not review the sale. Many experts say those voting machines were manipulated in Venezuela to give President Hugo Chavez a victory. Exit polls done by the U.S. firm Penn, Schoen, and Berland had Chavez losing 41% to 59%. But the next day, Chavez declared victory, reversing the score, saying he won 59% of the vote.
Everything was computed in the favor of the government. So the only explanation is that the Smartmatic machines had been programmed in that way.
A Harvard mathematician crunched the numbers on the Venezuelan election.
It had to be the Smartmatic system. All these machines talk to a central computer and report on their results. And in that mechanism, as they communicate with the central machine can report anything.
Smartmatic is technically based in Boca Raton, Florida, but the president of the company, Jack Blaine, testified to the Chicago City Council. Fewer than a dozen Smartmatic employees work in Florida. The majority of the workers are based in Venezuela.
Pete, that's very funny, by the way. Very funny. Another episode of What's Dave Watching? That's classic. Tracy, happy birthday. Dave sent you a Zelle. Thank you, my dear. Much love to you. I very much appreciate you and your many years of support and viewership. Hey guys, listen, if you want to see the video, come on. What you're don't you think you're asking for a bit too much? Okay. So that's, you guys are killing me right now. So Joe, yeah, so this is interesting. So the other thing too about Chavez is allegations have come out that he abused young women, and at least one minor. And so, people are waking up. People are waking up to this clown. Okay. And by the way, I watched part of this, and I've got to share this with you because, remember Bill Maher met with President Trump, and I've talked about how Morning Joe and Mika Brzezinski, the daughter of Zbigniew Brzezinski, who was the total deep state, total globalist, met with Trump. They were criticized. Maher met with Trump. He was criticized. Trump will talk with anybody. He'll meet with anybody, right? So Bill Maher had Sean Penn on, okay? And two of the lefties that, obviously we can't really stand, right? But the important, this is really, really good. Okay.
I have not been invited. The only reason I would not accept an invitation is because I see no, it's a long flight.
He's talking about he hasn't been invited to meet President Trump. And the only reason I wouldn't go is it's a long flight.
And I see no.
Really? You'll meet with fucking
I don't think
Castro and Hugo Chavez, but not the president of the United States?
Yeah, I saw good results come out of some of those things in terms of agendas that I had. I don't think that there's anything that I would. I just personally wouldn't trust anything that was said in the room, including the personality.
It's not a matter of trusting it. It's a matter of seeing it, matter of experiencing, matter of knowing it.
Yeah, it's
more knowledge. It's like saying, I don't want this medical test because I don't want to know. I want to know.
Yeah,
I want to.
By the way, look at Sean Penn's fucking shoes. He's got tape over them. I mean, come on, man. Are you serious? Buy some fucking new shoes. What are you trying to prove here?
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean,
I have some good friends that, are.
I said this many times within the piece when I did it, that like, it's up to, I'm just giving you the report. It's up to you to make the decision. Who do you think is the real guy? I'm telling you, there's a very different guy behind closed doors in a different setting. Now,
or capable of performatively seeing that. Yeah.
Well, one of the, my friends who believe in astrology would say he's a Gemini. Of course, there's two of them. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Other people will say, well, the real guy is the guy you met, and he's playing this clown on TV. And other people will say the reverse. He's it seems harder to do the reverse. I mean, can you really pretend to be sane? You can pretend to be insane. I think it's harder to pretend to be sane, to be measured and like all the things I said, which is just what happened. Mm-hmm. So again, there's three parts of this. Would you go to the dinner? I think you're crazy not to want to see up close the person who's this important in everybody's lives for the last decade.
I completely understand that.
Two, are you going to lie about it? I'm sorry, I'm not a liar. I don't lie. So I told the truth. And then three, do I go back to doing what I always did? Yes, I did.
Yeah, but you could have told more truth or you could have told less truth.
I told a lot of truth. I told everything.
I would have enjoyed a little more brevity on that. But I absolutely understand that.
But that's just emotional. You were just triggered.
It's possible. It's possible. It's true that.
But I
for
would
some
like
reason this particular president triggers me rather often.
Exactly. He makes people crazy, but he's not making me crazy. But so you really wouldn't go?
No, I don't. I'm not saying I think I wouldn't, because let me put it this way. What I know I would not do.
Especially he's
I would not go, let's say, so for example, when we talk about this very different president of Uruguay, there were things that Uruguay had models of in development that could be very helpful to Haiti. And I went to see if we could get some training from them and so on and so forth, which we did. And whereas if I were, let's say, representing a cause celeb, say it was Ukraine, say it was whatever it was, I would not fool anywhere with him. I know that I wouldn't. I know that I would have no influence.
Bad attitude. You don't know that. You don't know anything. He's a guy who frequently seems to go by what the last thing he heard was. I'll tell you this about Donald Trump, and you don't know it because you don't go to dinners. It's all about.
I didn't go to dinner with President Trump. That's true.
You should. It's all about personal relationships.
I've not been invited.
Okay, I will get you an invite. He's a star fucker in a way. I bet you he would like to meet you. And you would have
he'll see the show. He says, if I see him, they're going to call me a star fucker.
I don't think he watches the podcast. He does watch the show. He's a faithful viewer.
He's got people that do his thing. Dan Bongino would be knocking on your door if you didn't go to dinner.
Oh, Jesus.
That's not why I did it. And it could work out the other way. You don't know. He's very unpredictable. And
I mean, folks, I'm grateful for an interview like this that Bill Maher does. Okay. The left listens to Bill Maher. Bill Maher saying one positive thing about Donald John Trump is better than me saying 1,000 positive things about Donald John Trump. Because the left, the people that we are trying to awaken, the woke people, they watch Bill Maher. Now, some of them won't have anything to do with him because he met with President Trump. But he met with President Trump, he reported his experience, and he was truthful about it, and he has gone on to bash President Trump on certain things. So he is continuing to do his thing. He hasn't changed just because of that one moment, but that one moment, that one meeting with President Trump changed him enough that he's pushing back against woke asshats like Sean Penn. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's part of the script. I think it's so amazing. So amazing. I'm grateful to Bill Maher for that segment right there. I got to tell you, okay? I'm grateful to him, right? So listen, I want to thank the following who have contributed to my birthday week donations. Edward Quinn, thank you, Edward. Sharon Lett, thank you for your $20 donation. DGM, thank you, $17. Thank you very much. I believe that's Dina. Patsy Abbott, $20. Tracy, thank you for your $50 donation. I love you. Janet Sayer, thank you for your $50 donation, and all of you for your continuing support of this Truthcast. Gene McKay III, thank you, Gene, for your $25 donation. In addition to, by the way, the Snedeheads membership that you are part of. And folks, if you haven't yet joined Snedeheads, please do so, because I'm about to go. We're about to shift. I'm going to work on it on my flight. Okay. And I'm going to work on it next week. And I'm hoping to have it ready. It's going to be the Rubicon with a Q.com. We have crossed the Rubicon as a civilization. There is no going back. We have crossed the Rubicon. The die is cast. This is the river in northern Italy. that the Roman army was not allowed to cross into Italy for fear that they would cross into Rome and take over Rome, and Caesar did it. And when he did it, he crossed the Rubicon. He said, the die is cast, meaning it is not going to be undone. We're going to go on to Rome. He goes into Rome, became the emperor, and took out the corrupt Senate. Okay. We as a civilization have crossed the Rubicon. Snedheads will become the Rubicon. When you log into Snedheads, it's going to go to our page, but there's going to be a bigger social media surrounding it with other influencers and their people that is going to be the Rubicon.com. When you share things, okay, when you join Snedheads, which is $17 a month, it's not just a membership. It is an investment into this platform that you will be rewarded for as the platform grows, because this will be the only platform that is tokenized and monetized for you. When you share stories, when you share news, when you bring friends of yours in to this small town, very accountable social media site, okay, that has some great research tools here on the left. If you're on your phone, you have to click that link, in the upper left-hand corner, because when you're on your phone, it's gonna just look like this one thing. But when you click on that button up here, see, this is what it's going to look like on your phone somewhat. It's actually going to be one column, but when you click on that upper left, then you have all these links of research, of weather anomalies, of old videos, of how you can upgrade to Snedheads Plus. Okay. And this is not just going to be a membership. It's an investment into this platform, which I believe is going to grow quite rapidly once I set it up. So please check out snedheads.com and join us over there. Excuse me, free to join, but you have to be a member in order to post and really get engaged, because that keeps all the bots out and it keeps all the assholes out, because anybody can join for free and start posting and shit posting. This isn't that site. This is a very different site. This is one that people are using their face, they're using their name, and they're posting beautiful pictures like us. They're posting beautiful content. Some of the links look like this, but they're still good links. The show is on there. Kevin Rotello, happy day anons. So you've got Dave's Farmers Market over here with me and Jasper, okay, where you can see some cool stuff. You got Saint Solutions. You've got Lightning Springs Ranch that has the best grass-fed, grass-finished beef. So please join us over there, my friends. Even as a birthday present, like just join it for a month, check it out, or just come over and join for free and bounce around and see if you like it. It is growing. It's kind of slowly morphing. But when I go out with the Rubicon, it's going to go quickly, and you want to be a member and you want to be in early, because as the value of the site grows, your membership grows in value as well. So this is not just, $17 for a new social media site that nobody needs, really. Like, do I need a social media site? Well, yes, you do, because we won't track you. We won't listen to you. We won't watch you. We won't plug all your information into AI automatically, which is all these sites are doing. Okay. And we don't sell your information, which all these free sites are making much more from you every month than $17 a month, because they're selling your information and they're marketing the shit out of you. And Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and the AI that's causing teen suicides and problems with self-esteem, et cetera, et cetera. We don't have any of that. Okay. we're not getting you watching video after video after video, which is affecting your attention span, and it's controlling your dopamine fix. We don't do that on this site. This is the way forward. And I ask you to join us on snedheads.com. Folks, we're at 2 hours. I've got a lot of packing to do. I'm going to try to do some reporting from New York City when I'm there this week. And so look for that. Look for me just maybe going live or sharing a video. But I'm really going to be, this is going to be time with family. It's going to be time with friends, and decompressing from my 8th year of doing this, decompressing from all the flow of incredible information that we're getting, and a break from the move that I just went through, which was, wow, it was intense, really intense. So thank you, my friends, for being here. Thank you all who have, supported me through this journey, supported this information, and most importantly, supporting free information. There's a reason why other people charge for, subscriptions. They charge for all this stuff. There's a reason why they do that, and it's because they are holding back information that is vital, that they want you to pay for, because that's the best way. That's the most manipulative way, but it is the best way to actually get money from you, to charge you for these things. I'm not even charging you on Snedeheads. I'm charging you for a total different platform, but it's an investment into that platform, because you will be tokenized. Your membership will be tokenized, and your membership value will grow as the platform values. You can't say that about X, TikTok, True Social, Facebook. You can't say that about anybody. All the things you're doing, the reshares, the reposts, the sharing to your friends and family, it's getting all those guys rich. It's not getting you any money at all. And you are the one promoting their site. You promote Snedeheads, you promote the Rubicon with a Q, shout out to Q, you will benefit directly. Okay. So thank you all for being here. Much love to you. Have a good week. And I will see you when I see you. And by the way, if this is one of your main sources of information, I would ask you to maybe say, thank you, Dina. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Dave, for all you do. Where we go one, we go all. Thank you, V Green. No, I'm still in Texas, Cat Mother B. I'm just visiting New York City. I'm still in Texas. I only moved 20 minutes away. Okay. But it was a brutal move. And thank you, Maggie. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. So thank you very much. So maybe, is it a time, just ask yourself this, that maybe you pull back a little bit. Maybe you take a little break. Maybe you take a little time with family, with friends, decompress from this whole thing. You and I both know that the trajectory of where we're going is a very good trajectory. And when you know that, you don't have to keep feeding yourself this information day in and day out. Know that Q said in the last Q drop that we went to, we have it all. Tom, thank you, my friend, and thank you for your continued support as well. Thank you so much, everybody. This is great. Thank you, Corey, trying to get a job so I can support you. Great show, and thank you for letting me be here. You're very welcome. And again, for those of you tight on money, don't have a job, very limited, monthly income, that's why I do it for free, my friends. Should you not have this kind of information, this kind of community, because you're down on your luck? Fuck that. You deserve to be here. and I love you all for that. Yeah, I would not move to New York. Thank you, Tamara. I would not do that. God is in control. Thank you. Good night, all. Namgarad. Thank you, my friends. I love you very much. Thank you for helping me celebrate my birthday and supporting me through my birthday. Please, think about me maybe over the next week. If you didn't have a check come in or whatever this past week, and you think about me this week, maybe watch some of the old shows you missed, which were really good, especially the Sned call-in show. I highly recommend. And the tribute show for our friend Sarge that I did last night. I highly recommend that as well. Maybe you do a donation while I'm traveling, which comes in and I'm like, okay, we can go have a meal. We can go do this. We can go do that. So I welcome that as well. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your great comments. Jan-Marie, losing you and losing my husband, great reason to decompression. Thank bunches, Dave. Sorry, Jan-Marie, about your husband. God bless. And yeah, my friends, be well, be strong, hold the line. It is happening. So much incredible things are, so much incredible events are happening that we cannot lose sight of how far we've come and how far yet we have to go. All right. Much love. Good night.